All right, folks, quick video. I'm going to reply to some of these stupid comments that get spammed into the comment section. I leave them there because I think it's important that people see how these Jehovah's Witnesses dance around all of these subjects, right? So I had to make a video, especially this guy. He keeps spamming with all of this nonsense, which he thinks
he's making his case.
He's refuting, but he's making himself look like a fool. So Scott Jackson, down in the comments below, and if you want to debate these things, why don't you step up? I'll open up the StreamYard. You can try to debate and defend your sick, twisted theology, your sick doctrine, which makes no sense, which contradicts, and it's not consistent. You can't follow your logic throughout the Bible because you'll run into serious problems. Serious problems. All right? Look what this guy says. Scott Jackson, what an idiot you are. I'm sorry. I hate to be rude, but I have to be. The Son represents his Father, no Trinity. Okay. Does that even make sense? Does that even make sense? And you can see what I wrote to this guy here. Look at these comments I wrote. So, I represent Jehovah because I make videos about Jehovah, right? I'm representing him, according to this guy. So why don't you call me Jehovah too? Right? That's how stupid these people sound. Jesus, in his pre-human existence, was called the God of Israel. Literally, in Exodus 24. Well, you know what? Let's go over to it. Let's go over to it. Exodus chapter 24, verses 9 to 11. Okay? Look at this. Moses, Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 elders. All of these people, you're talking about 74 people, right? They all saw, what does it say? Look at verse 10. They all saw the God of Israel, and under his feet seemed like sapphire pavement. So they saw his feet. This is a physical being that they're seeing, and they're calling this person the God of Israel. They didn't say they saw a representation of the God of Israel. No, they said they saw the God of Israel. They saw him. When he spoke the words of the God of Israel. He's speaking. Who's speaking? The God of Israel. They saw him physically in the flesh. Right? They saw his feet. So he must have feet. Standing on what they saw as pavement. 74 people saw this. Are they hallucinating the same hallucination? What kind of drug is that? Can I have some? It doesn't say they saw a representation. They saw the God of Israel. They talked to the God of Israel. Actually, they sat down and ate with him. They sat and ate with the God of Israel. Right there. Verse 11.
You see that sign, sir? Yes, you all have to leave. I'm not taking any more of your smartness and sarcasm.
You see this sign?
So explain that. And if this guy, Scott Jackson, is saying that it's okay because he represents the Father, okay. So if Jehovah gave Jehovah the okay to be called Jehovah, right? He gave him the okay to be worshipped as Jehovah. He gave him the okay to actually claim his name and be worshipped like him and talk like him. Then why doesn't this guy respect that? If he has such divine representation, right? He has such divine agency where God says, you know what? Just play me. You're allowed to play me. If they worship me, let them worship you. Let them call you God. You can be God today. And all throughout the Old Testament and in the New Testament. When Thomas says to Jesus, my Lord, my God. And Jesus says, blessed are those who believe and don't see, unlike Thomas, right? He didn't rebuke him. Wow. Wow. Come on, Scott Jackson. You can do better than that. And then he keeps going here. Look, his name shall be called, and then he goes to Isaiah 9. What the hell does that got to do? See how they don't answer the question? They start running to all these other passages. Just answer the question. I don't want to go to Isaiah 9:6. That makes no sense. That doesn't answer my question who this God of Israel is. That doesn't answer my question why is he being called Jehovah? Why is Jehovah calling him Jehovah? You haven't answered my question. Isaiah 9:6 does not answer that question. Just nonsense. Look at this. The Son is the first new creation. What does that have? Answer the question. Why are you spewing out all this nonsense that has nothing to do with what we were talking about? The Son is the first new creation, not the first old creation. He was exalted to that position before all things positionally. What does that got to do with the question that we're talking about? You see how they run and run and run, and they want you to be like, oh, yeah. No, you didn't say anything. You didn't say anything. Because if we go down your path, right? Let's go to Micah. Here's another prophecy. From Bethlehem, right, shall come forth a ruler of Israel, whose goings forth have been from old and from everlasting. From everlasting. You want to play this game and go down this road with this guy, right? He says he's a creature. Not the first old creature. You're right. He's not the first old creature. He's from everlasting. Right? Out of Bethlehem shall come forth a ruler. These are prophecies that have been fulfilled. Whose goings forth have been from old and from everlasting. Well, what's everlasting? Eternity. Who's being prophesized here? Have you guys read Matthew chapter 2? Have you guys read Matthew chapter 2? Matthew chapter 2. What prophecy is that? What prophecy is Micah talking about? Look at this. After Jesus has been born in Bethlehem. Oh, is that what he's talking about? Someone's coming out of Bethlehem to be the ruler of Israel, whose goings forth are from everlasting? Jeez, I wonder who they're talking about. So even though this guy is dancing around the question, right? He hasn't answered any question. Who is this God of Israel in Exodus 24, 9-11? Why are they worshiping him? Why is he being called the God of Israel? Why did he sit down and eat and drink with them? Why is Jehovah calling Jehovah Jehovah? Why are there two Jehovahs? Why aren't you answering those questions? Instead, you keep throwing more nonsense that still gets thrown back in your face. Not the first old creature. Not the first old creature. No, he's from everlasting. Micah gave us the prophecy already. I mean, what nonsense is this? Where do these people come from? And look what I told this guy. He can't answer these questions. He can't answer these questions. If Jehovah granted Jehovah to play the role as Jehovah and simply represent him himself, he's allowed to be me. You're allowed to go be me. Just be me. Go. Just go be me and talk to me as if you're me, and I'll talk to you as if you're me. I'm allowing it because you're representing me. You've got divine representation. I'm allowing it. Go ahead. Right? And everyone follows suit. Everyone follows suit all throughout the Old Testament. This angel of the Lord, this God of Israel that's manifesting, he's called Jehovah. And everybody knows that's Jehovah. Everyone will tell you that's Jehovah. But then when you ask, has anyone ever seen the Father? No. Who is this guy then? Oh, that's Jesus representing Jehovah. Oh, what a great representation. If Jehovah's allowing this type of representation, he's given him all of his divine privileges, including his exact representation of his very being. Go be me. But wait a minute, your being is eternal. Your being is Jehovah. How can I be the exact representation of your being? Go ahead, just do it. I'm allowing you to. So if Jehovah actually allows this, why doesn't this guy Scott Jackson start worshiping Jesus? If his God is allowing it, right? Clearly he's allowing it. And Scott Jackson is aware of this because he said it himself. The Son represents his Father. No Trinity. Okay, no Trinity. But he's representing his Father in a way where his Father says, treat him just like me. Call him my name. I will even call him my name. Because he is me. I'm allowing it. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Scott Jackson. Ooh. The Bible's not your friend. The Bible is not your friend. You need to go find some new friends. The Bible's not your friend, Scott. You better find some new friends. Before I move on, I want to talk more about this representing God, right? Because we just saw that this is not just a representation, like Scott says. This is an exact representation of his very being. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Okay. I'm sorry, Scott Jackson. Woo. The Bible's not your friend. Psalm 86. Let's go to Psalm 86. I'm sorry, Scott Jackson. Ooh, the Bible's not your friend. Right here, verse 8. There is none like you among the gods. Who are the gods? The Jehovah's Witnesses will tell you, well, one of the gods is Jesus, right? In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was a God, lowercase g, right here. Well, I found it. There is none like you among the gods. Would that not include Jesus in that lowercase g, gods? There is none like you among the gods, O Jehovah. Wait a minute. But I thought Jesus was the exact representation of his very being. What do you mean there's none like you? It's very odd. Time to find a new religion. Let's go to Psalm 89. You can do this all day long. The Bible's a Trinitarian book. Get it through your thick skulls. Verse 8. O Jehovah God of armies, who is mighty like you, O Jah? Verse 6. For who in the skies can compare to Jehovah? Who among the sons of God is like Jehovah? Answer, nobody. Nobody. Forget about it. But wait a minute. This angel of the Lord, this Jesus in his pre-human existence, the one that Jehovah's call a lowercase God, is the exact representation of his very being. He's not just a copy. He's the exact, listen to the words. He's the exact representation of his very being, his essence. Well, God's essence is eternal, right? How can you be a copy of somebody that's eternal? Not just a copy, he's the exact representation. Read the text. Read it. He's an exact representation of God's being. Who the hell can be the exact representation of an eternal being, the Almighty God, the Alpha and Omega? How can you be an exact copy? And when people see you, hey, I saw Jehovah. And when you speak, Jehovah spoke. How does that work? If none of the gods, none of the sons of the gods, none of the angels can be compared to Jehovah, why is this one called Jehovah himself? And why is Jehovah calling him Jehovah? What the hell is going on here? Come on, Scott Jackson. I'm sorry, Scott Jackson. Woo, find a new religion. Find a new cult. Have you heard of Freemasons? Go find yourself a new cult, Scott Jackson. And yet this Scott Jackson guy says, no, I'm not doing that. You see how stupid he is? You see how stupid this is? They can't answer these questions. They can't answer these questions. This is why the Bible is a Trinitarian book. There's clearly two Jehovahs here. Clear as day. Clear as day. There's no way around it. Welcome to the world of the Trinity, buddy. Scott Jackson. Welcome to the world of the Trinity. There is no other individuals in the Bible that can claim to be the person they represent. It's not happening. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Matthew 10:40, Luke 10:16, John 13:20, John 17:18, John 20:21. These are all disciples of Jesus, and they're considered his agents. They were sent out by him. Whoever receives them receives Jesus, in turn receives the Father. So, according to this guy, Scott Jackson, when you see Matthew, you can say, I saw Jesus. You can say, I saw God the Father, because he's representing Jesus, which is representing the Father. So when you see John and Luke, oh, you know what? I saw Jehovah. Right? Because these people are agents of Jesus and the Father. Right? How about Revelation 22:6? There's an angel that comes down to send the revelation from Jesus, which is from the Father. The Father gives the revelation to Jesus. Jesus gives the revelation to the angel. The angel goes to John. And John worships the angel. Just like Thomas, my Lord, my God. Oh yeah, I never thought about that. And you know what? Jesus never rebuked Thomas. He never said, no, don't do that. Why? Because he's God. But the angel says, no, don't do that, right? Let's go find it. I'm not making this stuff up. Revelation 22:16. Right there. He sends the angel to bear witness to you about the things of the... I am the root and the offspring of David, the bright morning star. You see that, right? So this is an angel that they sent. You guys see this? See it? Right? He said to me, these words are faithful and true. Yes, Jehovah, the God who inspired the prophets, has sent his angel to show his slaves the things that must shortly take place. So we know this is an angel of Jehovah. Right? Right? How about 8 and 9? Verse 8, I fell down to worship at the feet of the angel who had been showing me these things. What does 9 say? Don't do that. I'm only a fellow slave. How come this angel can't be worshipped? He's representing Jehovah. He's representing Jesus. He's representing Jehovah, right? That's what it says down here. Because people that represent Jehovah can't be called Jehovah. People that represent Jehovah can't be called God. People that represent Jehovah can't be worshipped as Jehovah and called Jehovah. People that represent Jehovah aren't called Jehovah. Jehovah didn't say, hey, I'm sending Jehovah to send you a message, right? He said, I'm sending my angel. He didn't call him Jehovah. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. And these people keep going with this. They keep going with this. And all throughout the Old Testament, when you have the angel of the Lord, which is Jesus, and you have Jehovah calling him Jehovah, in Sodom and Gomorrah, when Jehovah is on the ground and he looks up in the sky and he rains fire from Jehovah. Wait a minute, you got two Jehovahs there, right? Jehovah on the ground with Abraham, calling to Jehovah in the sky to rain fire down on Sodom and Gomorrah. There's two Jehovahs there as well. How about Judges chapter 2, verses 1 through 5? You've got the angel of the Lord there. He's called God. He's called Jehovah. Right? It's irrefutable, guys. It's irrefutable. So people like this guy, Scott Jackson, find you a new cult, buddy. You got to find you a new cult, because the Bible, even your sick, perverted Bible, your New World Damnation, is not your friend, buddy. Not your friend. So find a new religion, pal. Get a life.